one's watching. That's funny.
Wine with the wine.
Yep. All right, so we're live now. Should be live. Yep. So
Did you send
yeah,
Sonia
so,
a link?
yeah. I sent her the link via Facebook, but anybody that hopefully is watching that's not in the chat wants to join us, just say I want to join in. I have a student, Caden, who's now on. Caden, hey buddy, this is more. Well, you could stay on. I'd love for you to stay on, but this is going to be for metal detecting. This is not. You found this, Caden. You found this on my metal detecting channel, not my school channel, correct? You can post yes or no.
Please. Please post yes.
The
Some of my students are subscribed to me. Oh, Andy Crowbar, hey, how you doing? Love to hear your opinion about what's going on in Missouri regarding this. Good, yeah, we are on my metal detecting channel, so that's good. So if you know anything about me or Joel or Dave, we're in Ohio. Hey, Sailor, Steve. I don't know where you're from, so if you could post where you're from, I'd love to hear so that we can get an idea of what's going on in your state. The reason why we just wanted to talk and have a conversation about this is because the state of Ohio is now, they wouldn't call it, stay-at-home shelter type thing. It's just basically an order, executive order to stay at home, unless my wife is telling me.
But closing essential businesses is big.
Yeah, and they actually,
Non-essential.
right, they closed all non-essential businesses as well. So there's some things that are going on with our state that changed today. It will go into effect tomorrow evening at midnight. And then our discussion and our question is, can you still go metal detecting? And wait, sorry. Oops. And so
Hey,
go on.
Sonia.
I mean, where's Sonia? Is she on?
Yeah, she's on.
Hey, Sonia, how you doing? She can't hear us yet, but so obviously the question is, can people who are in situations like Ohio, Steve's in New Jersey, and so is Sonia, so we'll hear her opinion as well. And can you go metal detecting? I mean, so metal detecting here where I am, and I went yesterday with Joel and Dave, and what it entailed was me getting in my car, driving to a spot separately than Dave. Usually we go together, and wearing gloves and going detecting. We stayed as far away as we could. At times we shared a coin, but I thought we did a really good job, essentially, of staying away and keeping distance.
Joel didn't give us kisses yesterday.
No. This is yesterday.
Yeah. So Missouri, Andy says Missouri is stay at home as well. And Steve says, hey, what's up, Dave? How you doing? I'd love to hear if you guys are flying and what your state is, what your state of flying is. If you don't know, Dave is my cousin. He's a paramotorist, and love to hear his opinion in chat too. So that's cool. Yeah. So Andy, I wonder, what are your thoughts on going out metal detecting? So our governor talked about us being able to go out and exercise. He actually used the words go to a park, but he did say after that, he said that you are not to go on any playground equipment.
Yeah.
So I'll just tell you my opinion. The way I look at it is, if we do everything that we did yesterday in terms of taking precaution, I don't see a reason why we can't go to a park or go out to a field metal detecting.
6 feet though, so if you find something cool, you still need it 6 feet away. Go, oh my God!
Yeah, so we have to, oh my God, at 6 feet away, my wife just said. Oh yeah, we're releasing a video tomorrow with both Joel and I, and then I found some cool stuff. Hey, how you doing? Metal Detecting Wisconsin. So I haven't seen you since I mean, I remember watching your videos for a long time ago. It's been a while, and I remember Ildigger, me and you were at the Tom Weaver Memorial Hunt out in Newark. And hey, Mike, how you doing? So let's see. We got Wisconsin is still good for detecting, so they can still detect in Wisconsin. I believe the way I interpret what is being said, and my wife would have already punched me, is that we could still detect in Ohio. Mike says that Governor Murphy said he wants us to take a walk for physical and mental health. I have a 66-acre farm, and you can walk on the farm. Awesome. Very cool. Yep. What do you guys think?
Tony, you have an issue? I hear him, but I don't know. Yeah, I feel metal detecting is okay. As long as you guys, we all take the precautions. I mean, I'm sure if we go out next Saturday, we're not gonna hug. We're not gonna, I mean, we did high five yesterday, but we had gloves on, so I wasn't too worried about that. But we might take a little more precaution now that.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
But we might, Jordy and I will have to get together this week and talk about maybe different ways, different styles we could do of the video that we aren't so close together. Because, I mean, we were close together this weekend. We didn't, but now that it's a state mandated thing, we don't want anybody coming back and saying, you guys aren't following the rules. But, I'm not worried about driving an hour and a half up to you guys. And I mean,
Yeah.
they haven't ordered a total lockdown, which I don't know will come. I think it all depends on if people follow the rules still, because it's really no different than what we've been doing. We've been doing a social distancing of each other and stuff like that. But I mean, I just don't really see a different than what he's doing now than what we were doing yesterday. But it's ordered to do it now, so we have to do it.
Dave, what do you think?
Well, just like even yesterday, you and I talked about possibly going today. We didn't, but one of the things we mentioned was we would drive separately. And I think the little things like that, that's the things that people need to do, and if you're going to go outside in a big area, and everybody stays apart, nobody's shaking hands, hugging, all that kind of stuff, I don't see a problem with it.
So I want to welcome Sonia to the live stream, and I'll let her tell you where she's at and what's going on. Hey, Donnie, I hope your mother's doing better. I know that we weren't able to get out and detect today. But Sonia, welcome, and tell us a little bit about your situation over there.
Well, so I'm in New York, New Jersey. I work in New York. We've pretty much been shut down for the last week at least. I've been working from home, and I'm going to be working from home for the next month or so. New Jersey's gotten pretty strict too. We're on lockdown, and we have a curfew. Our curfew's 10 p.m. now, so only time you're supposed to be out after 10 p.m. is if you've got an emergency or if you're just coming back from work or whatever the case is. So it's really only for essential personnel, really.
Yeah.
Intense curfew is happening.
I'm sorry, I cut you off. Say that again.
I said it's just a lot of cabin fever happening, and it's only a weekend, so I don't know what to expect over the coming weeks.
Yeah. I talked.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Joel.
Just to think, a week ago we were all together.
Yeah.
We detected all data together, and then we went out to dinner together, and then just it's crazy how a week can change the world. I mean, everybody's going on lockdown, or as Ohio's calling it, stay at home. But I think I don't know if it's gonna slow down the spread of what Ohio's doing. I just don't know, because you're still gonna have people delivering food to your house. You're still gonna have, you're still going to have drive-through windows or drive-up food places and stuff like that. So that's what we've been doing. So I don't see the point of, now you're making an official order, but I don't really see much of a difference. I mean, yeah, I'll close down at work. We're a non-essential company to a point, but we will probably take shifts and go in and check on buildings and stuff like that. But, you know,
And so, Dave, you have a different perspective, I think. I guess your perspective would be that you're, a retired police officer, and with enforcing the law, and how do you see how the governor actually, came down with that?
Hi, Heather.
I'm thanks for putting me on the spot. But no, I'm worried about this thing spreading, and I can see the precaution, and I can I don't see police officers out there stopping everybody out in their cars and everything out. That, I don't want people to overreact and think this is martial law, because it's not. There's a big difference, and
well, and Dave, why don't you explain martial law? Because you hear a lot of martial law, and you being an ex-police officer, military, and stuff like that. Because I think people feel that martial law is kind of what we're doing now. So why don't you explain that a little bit if you have the definition?
Martial law would be where you're locked down and you don't step outside of your house. I mean, that's basically what it is. And it would have a bunch of directives and orders, and the martial law can vary depending on what the governor or the president or whoever says it is. But I mean, it's definitely enforcement. This is basically asking people, come on, let's all work together here. Let's,
This is basically babysitting ourselves.
yeah. We're
I mean, it really is.
trying to do the right thing.
Well, be an adult. Wash your hands.
Right.
Do stuff like that. I mean,
Try to stop the spread of this thing so we can all get back to our normal lives and go on with business as usual. Like, that's what everybody wants. And everybody just needs to take a chill pill and relax and let it go through, because what's going to happen is what's going to happen. When people panic, that's when things get a mess. And
I feel
that's
like you've
where.
got too much.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, when people panic, that's where they force the hand of law enforcement and the National Guard and all that. This is kind of a precursor to martial law. Like, okay, here, everybody just to do what we're asking you to do, and everything's going to be cool. If not, well, they're not saying if not, but I mean, if not, that's what's going to happen.
see how I feel. I think Ohio's going to give it a week. I think they're going to give it a week and see if there is a, decrease in cases, and then we might go into that. And the president can shut down the entire nation. I mean, he kind of can, right, Dave?
Yeah, he is the man.
I
When it
mean,
comes to that, he's the commander in chief of the military and law enforcement, and of all of us. So
Adam, my buddy Adam asked if it's affected anyone that we know. I know Sonia has had some friends that.
Yeah, I've got a good friend of mine. Her cousin passed away this morning from the virus, and another friend of mine who works in healthcare has the virus, but he's recovering now. But his coworker passed away actually yesterday. So there's a lot going on. New York is a pretty big hot spot right now. So a lot of stuff happening.
And I'm hearing a lot, people, I watched the governor speak, and of course you have all the keyboard warriors out there, all up in, a tizzy about, oh, we've only had 3 deaths, in Ohio, and I think 3's too many, so, and I think that's due to part of our governor nipping it in the butt early. I really think he did. He was one of the first people to say, hey, we're closing down schools, we're closing down everything. And I give him a lot of props for that, because I think it would be a lot worse here if he did.
I do too. I
mean, it's ridiculous on that people just need to listen. That's all it is. Take your own precautions. Stay at home. Don't Well, if you don't have to go out, don't go outside. I mean, go outside, but don't go out to,
In
rush-
public.
So one of the things that I'm reading in the chat is that Metal Detecting Wisconsin was supposed to meet Tim in Illinois today, but he said that there's going to be, the governor shut the borders down. Is that what that is? In Illinois, only traveling,
Yep.
can't travel past 5. So that I think is the next thing to maybe come,
Yeah.
in my opinion, is the borders of states. I don't know though. I don't know. I mean, we're talking here about metal detecting, and I think that it's okay if I just get in my car and go to the field, But there are people like Sonia last week, and there are people like Metal Detecting Wisconsin, and I'm so sorry I forgot your first name. But that are traveling from state to state or live close to a border, and that really does hinder a couple people from detecting. So.
Well, I think that will be Ohio's next step, and I think it'll be Pennsylvania's next step. We haven't heard from Michigan yet. Michigan has a lot more cases than Ohio, and I haven't heard anything that shut anything down. But yeah, I don't know. Doug said something earlier about metal detecting's fine, but door knocking's not, and I agree with that. I think door knocking right now is a thing of the past. I don't think it's going to happen for a while. I don't think people are going to really want you on their properties right now. I had a buddy that texted me earlier some catching drills for my son because he's a catcher for baseball, and we got to talk. And he's in the medical industry, but he does sales, and so we got to talking about, are you working? He's like, yeah, I'm working from home, and he said they went to the Metro Parks yesterday, Ohio Metro Parks, and he said it was packed. There was hundreds of people yesterday at the parks. And I understand, and I don't know if it's a proven fact. Sonia and I have talked about this, about being airborne. I mean, and do they know? So if you have, even if you're walking out in nature and you cough and somebody walks behind you, is it going to stay airborne long enough that you can breathe that in when you're walking down a trail? See, that's the thing that worries me.
Well, I mean, from the research that I've read, Joel, it's up to 3 hours, right? So obviously that depends on the conditions, depends on the temperature outside, depends on the humidity and all that stuff. But today I wanted to go for, a hike, not even detecting, just a hike to get outside. And I decided not to because there's just so many people who are getting infected, like near me, and it's hitting home. And I just decided that even being outside in a park or in the woods, there's still a chance that you can get sick. And it's, at this point, it's really not worth the risk.
No, agree. I agree with you 100%. I mean, so, just you got to take your own precautions, wash your hands, and stuff like that. But yeah,
Yeah, it's interesting because I'm trying to think, activities that they're going to, okay, here's my real opinion, right? So it has to do with school. So I'm a teacher, y'all know, and I think that they know that this is going to last way longer than what they've come out and said. And they've told the teachers we're off for 3 weeks. Today, if you caught some of the innuendos that Dr. Acton was talking about, she had claimed that these orders today will last till the 30th of April, which means, of course, we're out of school till then. So that's another month of school. And so I'm trying to figure out what's not the peak of infection, but what's the peak of restriction? Where is this going to go? And will there be a time where we cannot detect at all? I know that, my wife knows that I'm not a big walker. I'm going to go on a hike once in a while, but that detecting is like my get out and breathe moment, So I'm hoping that we're able to actually continue walking, hiking, going for a ride in the park. We talked about taking the bikes out, things like that, but I'm hoping we don't get restricted.
Yeah, I had a long conversation with a friend the other day, and we were discussing how long until this last. And, the government, of course, is saying when it warms up, then it should kill off. They're saying it's kind of like the flu, that it should kill off some of the virus, some of the airborne and stuff like that. But we were having a discussion about, I doubt we'll see football season this year. Just, even if it's gone by June, July, August, whatever, people aren't going to want to go to a stadium with 20,000 people. I don't think the government's going to allow that for a while. So, like you said, I think we actually talked about that yesterday. We use metal detecting as to get out, and we exercise. That's our exercise. But my wife is a teacher, and she's already getting emails from the superintendent saying, "Be prepared all year." So it's coming. It's going to happen. But to be honest with you, I think they need to, because especially how they're telling that children can carry it and not really have symptoms, and so that's the reason why I shut down schools. What the scary thing is now about it is, at first they thought it only really would affect older people, like, that would get really sick. Now you're seeing the age between 20 and 80 years old that are getting very sick from it. And my stance on it too is, I'm an asthmatic. I actually I would say outgrew it, but I am more exercise induced now. So I'm higher at risk to actually get sick and die from it, because it can restrict my lungs. So I'm taking a lot extra precautions about it too.
Yeah, I have my issues too. And that's the thing. There's so many issues out there that, not a lot of people know about, in terms of if this will affect you differently than it affects your neighbor, or, so I'm not going to call anybody out, but you look at the news and you see that people on the beach and people at parks and people partying. I mean, like, I have relatives down in Florida, and it's way different in Florida compared to New York, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Michigan. It's way different. I'm lucky. Where I live, there's only been one confirmed case. Now we know that that's a bunch of crap. That there's way more out there. But they just had their first confirmed case in Port St. Lucie, Florida, this morning, and I don't know if all the beaches are shut down in Florida. You guys could probably help me with that.
Well, yeah, I think they are. I mean, but I read an article this morning about, hey, your cat just jumped up. That there has been a spike in fevers since spring break. All those idiots, I'll call them that, that decided to go down for spring break, all the college kids, and now they're starting to bring it back. And I'm sorry, that was the worst thing. The Florida government should be ashamed of themselves to allow those kids. They're all money hungry.
Yeah.
And they yeah, thanks, Dave. You got it. They're money hungry. And I feel that if there's a spike from these kids coming back from Florida, I think the president should deal with Florida in his own way, because there's no reason that they should have been open.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people who detect the beaches down there too. I mean, they're probably done for a long time. I mean, I guess that's another point, like detecting for us, which would be a field that's, 50 acres, 60 acres, and metal detecting a beach where there's hundreds of people.
Annie had a good question. Does anyone wonder how much this will change how we greet each other in the future? Good question. You're already seeing things come out. The elbow shake, the foot shake. We call it the Corona shake. Everybody's using their foot. But I think for a long time, other than my family, there won't be hugs outside. And I'm a hugger. I've hugged Dave. I like hugging people. But I think handshakes will go away for a long time. Even the good old knuckle. I mean, I think that's going to go away for a long time. So that was a good question. You guys can answer how you feel. Anybody?
I agree.
Oh.
I agree.
Read-
I mean,
I
Reading
think
comments, sorry.
I
yeah.
think it's very funny on how the way people are coming up with new ideas on how to agree each other. We are very creative species when it
Yeah.
comes. I mean, I'm on TikTok. I watch TikTok. I don't know if anybody, and those people are hilarious. I mean, because they come up with the craziest things.
Yeah, I get you. Oh man, well, thanks for joining us in the chat. When I had heard that we went to a stay-at-home executive order.
Why do you have
I,
a toothbrush in your hand?
when I was cleaning my pipes.
Sorry to interrupt. It was just kind of popped up.
I really was. I was cleaning my fines. So when I saw that, I just sent out a request to a couple of people to say, hey, I think we should talk about this because what's happening in Ohio is going to be different or the same than what's going on in Jersey, New York, Wisconsin, that kind of stuff. And so I don't know. I just thought it'd make for a good discussion.
Yeah.
I'm hoping everybody stays safe. Unless my wife over here says you're not detecting, you're done, I'm going to still go out and keep my distance, get some fresh air, do about 50 to 70 squats, and get my exercise.
We'll just wear hazmats next week. Hazmat suit. Why not?
Crazy. That's crazy.
I need
So
to come back out to you guys busy.
Say that again, Sonia.
I need to come back out and keep you guys busy.
Yes, you're more than welcome to come out over here, but you're going to have to come after the craziness. Question for you though, Sonia. Would you go out?
Yeah.
Would you go detecting, or are you done for now?
I think for the next 2 or 3 weeks, I'm probably not doing anything. If I'm being honest with myself, and I'm a pretty risky person. I'm usually that person who, if you tell me there's, a slight risk at something happening, I'm like, whatever, I'll be fine. But this is at the point, especially because it's hit home with a lot of people who are close to me. I just have to be extra careful, and I know that it's as serious as it is. A lot of people aren't understanding that. There's people on both ends of the spectrum. There's people who are, panicking, but then there's people who, like the spring breakers, who just don't really care, and they don't realize that they're putting everybody at risk. And now, especially that we know that it's not just older people that get affected, they're putting everybody at risk. And I'm a pretty healthy person, but this thing is hitting 20, 30, 40-year-olds who are otherwise healthy. So it's not worth the risk. I'd love to get out on the weekends, especially because I'm stuck at home for the next month. But at this point, I don't think it's in my best interest or anybody else's best interest for me to do that.
Yeah, I was actually going to get water. I agree with you, by the way. I was going to get water. We drink reverse osmosis water, whatever. So I was going to fill up our 5-gallon things, and I'm driving by and I'm watching all of the kids in my 8th grade class, that age group, they're all hanging out together. There's no distancing between them. I would say there's probably no parenting either, but there's no concern or no worry at all with that age group. My daughter, she's 17. She hasn't left the house, in a very long time, and you could tell it's getting a little crazy, right? But for these kids who are just out on their bikes, at the skate park, going and hanging out, walking, that they're like screwing around, touching each other, hugging each other, that kind of stuff. And I think it's kind of the age, and I understand that. But if I saw my daughter doing that, I would not be very happy.
Well, it's
all about.
Yeah, I get. Go ahead.
I was just going to say it's about my mother and my stepfather and my father and my stepmother and all the other people in the 70s and 60s, 70s, 80s. It's about them and not wanting to, infect them. So
yeah, my son, when I got home from work Friday, he was hanging out with a couple buddies and they were riding bikes and they wanted to come inside, and I said absolutely not. You know, I'm closing my house to all outsiders right now.
Same here. Same here.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh man. So what we got? We got 7 people joining us, some people that'll probably watch after. I don't know, anything else to say? Any other comments? I just kind of thought it'd be good to talk about it, that's all.
Stay home.
Stay positive.
yeah,
We're
stay
gonna
positive.
And
We're gonna
be
get-
positive.
We're gonna get through this. It's gonna be okay. We'll do it. Everybody's in the same boat, you know. You're not alone in this at all.
Yeah, I would say that I have anxiety sometimes. I have to stop myself from going there. I can easily get a little panicky thinking about all of this stuff going on around us, and
So we drink.
you know, what did you say?
So we drink.
So she drinks.
One glass
Yeah.
a night.
I don't really,
Actually,
but I might have to take it up after all this, man.
I will tell you that, and this is a story that's probably for the after show, if there is one, but my doctor would, a long time ago, prescribe me like anti-anxiety medication. He basically said, just take a shot, and that'll help you out. But anybody else gaining weight?
Yeah.
I'm over here trying
I-
not to eat all of my quarantine snacks.
I think I'm up 5 pounds.
Yeah.
I really think even though the last 2 weekends I had like 30,000 steps from metal detecting. Because I'm not doing anything at work. We were at work all last week, and I sat in my van all week and ate because none of my tenants are open. So,
Yeah.
I hear you.
my
Pretty sure
I
even
gotta
my
get ready for bikini season.
Speedo season. That's funny. All right. Well, I don't know. Anything else to say? We should end it at Speedo season.
Speedo season. I have to get ready for it.
All right. Well, I'll stop this live stream, and we can still stay on. But I just thought it would be good to talk. Donnie. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, I definitely look forward to some of the summer hunts. People definitely be ready by then. And any other questions? Thanks for joining us in the chat.
You gonna post a link in case somebody else wants to come on there?
I don't know if we're going to be on very long.
No, but I just wondered.
Let me go eat
Oh
dinner.
yeah, I could pick. If someone wants to come on, they can come on. I'll post it right now.
You too, Mike.
Yeah. There we are. Okay. Hold on. All right.
Gabby,
Hi,
Gabby's
Yeah.
live.
I was very
Gabby is
upset you
live.
did not come out with us.
I can't hear anything.
She said that they're upset you didn't go out with us.
Oh,
All right.
well.
We're not upset.
It's because I
They're
wasn't
not
there.
upset.
So.
All right. We're going to end the stream. We'll stay on. Talk to you guys later. Thank
All
you
right,
for
everybody.
joining us.